Most people don't realize this, but the reason you wake up with neck pain, headaches, or a stiff shoulder every morning isn't because you slept wrong. It's what you've been resting your head on for the last 8 hours. Every night, you lay your head on something that was designed to feel soft and comfortable for 10 seconds in a store, not to support your neck for years. And the worst part is that you probably replaced it twice already this year. Here's what's happening to millions of people right now. They buy a pillow. It feels great for a few weeks, maybe a month or two if they're lucky, but then it starts to flatten, the support disappears, and they wake up with a crick in their neck. Then maybe they flip it or even add a second pillow underneath to compensate. And when that stops working, they buy another one. Same brand and same material, and the cycle repeats. So they try different sleep positions, buy a neck massager, stretch before bed, even try some supplements, but end up blaming their mattress. Nothing changes, and the reason nothing changes is simple. They're fixing the wrong problem. The issue was never how you sleep. It was the pillow. Breaking down, compressing, losing its structure in ways you don't notice until your neck starts screaming every morning. Now here's where it gets interesting. The pillow industry knows this. They know that polyester fill clumps and flattens within months. Memory foam loses its rebound after a year of nightly compression and down feathers migrate, leaving you with all the support onto the edges and nothing in the middle. But here's the thing. A pillow that lasts 6 to 12 months is exactly what they want. Because once you've replaced it 3 times in 2 years, you've spent more than you would have on a pillow that actually lasts, and you've learned to accept replacement as normal. What they don't tell you is that there are pillows built to last 5, 10, even 15 years. Pillows that don't flatten, don't clump, and don't lose their shape. But those pillows don't have billion-dollar marketing budgets. They don't get endorsed by celebrities or pushed by affiliate blogs that make money every time you click. They just work for years, quietly. And this question keeps coming up. From people who've bought 4 pillows in 2 years and people who spent $150 on a luxury pillow that went flat in 3 months. Even from people who are starting to wonder if neck pain is just part of getting older. It's not. Trust me. It's what you've been told to buy. So if most pillows break down in under a year, if the marketing is designed to feel impressive on day 1 and fall apart by month 6, what are you actually supposed to buy? That's exactly what we're answering today. But before we get to the list, I need to tell you something because the way most people think about pillow pricing is completely backwards. Here's how it actually works. Let's say you buy a popular memory foam pillow for $50. It holds its shape for about 8 months before it starts flattening. Then you replace it. So that's $50 every 8 months, about $75 per year, 20 cents per night. Now let's say you buy a quality latex or buckwheat pillow for $120. It lasts 10 years, often longer with minimal maintenance. That's $12 per year, about 3 cents per night. The expensive pillow costs less than 1/6 per night and lasts for a decade. This is the math the pillow industry doesn't want you running. Because if you thought in cost per sleep instead of sticker price, you would never buy a cheap polyester pillow again. Now, the list. These are not the pillows you'll see in a TikTok ad with a discount code. They are not the ones with the sleek unboxing experience and the 100-night trial that's designed to make you forget to return it. But they are built to do one thing: support your head and neck consistently through thousands of nights, without collapsing under the pressure of actually being used. Let's start with the material that consistently outlasts everything else on the shelf: latex. Walk into any major store and you'll see memory foam pillows, down pillows, polyester pillows, gel pillows, cooling pillows, hybrid pillows. What you won't see much of? Solid latex. And that's not because it doesn't work. It's because it lasts too long. Now here's what's actually happening inside a memory foam pillow. Every night, your head compresses the foam. The foam cells collapse, and over time, they lose their ability to return to shape. Within 6 to 12 months, you're sleeping on a pillow that's 30% thinner than when you bought it. You don't notice it happening because it's gradual, but your neck notices. A solid latex pillow doesn't have this problem. Natural latex, derived from rubber tree sap, has a cellular structure that compresses and returns fully, thousands of times, without breaking down. The material is inherently responsive. When you press into it, it pushes back. When you move, it adjusts. When you get up, it returns to its original shape. The average lifespan of a quality latex pillow is 10 to 15 years. Now here's where you have to pay attention because not all latex pillows are the same. What you're looking for is 100% natural latex, not blended, not synthetic. Dunlop or Talalay processed, these are the two legitimate methods. Solid core, not shredded. And ventilation holes, which allows airflow and prevents heat buildup. What you want to avoid is anything marketed as latex-like or latex feel, which is code for synthetic foam. Blended latex with less than 80% natural content, and gel-infused latex, which is a gimmick that adds no durability. The objection most people raise is that it feels too firm, and it's sure true, since latex has a different feel than the soft sink of memory foam. In the store, it might feel less immediately comfortable. This tends to work best for back sleepers who need firm, consistent support, stomach sleepers who need a low-profile pillow that doesn't force neck extension, hot sleepers because latex breathes better than foam, and anyone who's tired of replacing their pillow every year. A solid latex pillow is the closest thing to a permanent pillow solution available in the consumer market. Now let's talk about something that feels completely different from anything else on this list. Buckwheat. And I know you're probably wondering that buckwheat pillows are no longer worth it, but hear me out. If you've never used a buckwheat pillow, the first thing you need to know is that it doesn't feel like a pillow. It feels like a bag of seeds. Because that's exactly what it is. Buckwheat hulls, the outer shells of buckwheat seeds, are used as pillow fill in Japan and other parts of Asia. They've been used for centuries, and not because of marketing, but because they work. What makes them different is that while memory foam molds to your head and stays molded, buckwheat hulls shift. They move under your head to create a custom shape that supports your exact contour. When you move, they adjust, and when you get up, they settle back. They don't break down, don't compress, and don't lose their structure. A buckwheat pillow, maintained properly, lasts 10 to 20 years. Now here's the part most people don't expect. Buckwheat pillows are heavy. They make a soft rustling sound when you move and feel firm, more like resting your head on a beanbag than a cloud. And for some people, that's a deal breaker, while for others, it's the only pillow they'll ever use again. What you're looking for is 100% buckwheat hulls with no filler materials, organic certification, because buckwheat is a crop, and you want it pesticide-free, a zippered cover, so you can add or remove holes to adjust loft and quality outer fabric. Organic cotton is standard. What you want to avoid is mixed fill, buckwheat plus polyester, or foam chips, non-removable covers. You need to be able to wash the cover and adjust fill and overfilled pillows marketed as extra support. You want room for the holes to move. Some people say that it is too noisy and firm, which is true, as buckwheat hulls make noise. If you're a light sleeper who moves a lot, or if your partner is sensitive to sound, this might not work. But if you can get past the adjustment period, usually 3 to 7 nights, many people report it's the best neck support they've ever had. This tends to work best for side sleepers who need adjustable loft and firm support. Hot sleepers, because buckwheat breathes better than any foam. People with chronic neck pain who need maximum adjustability, and anyone who wants a pillow that will literally outlast their mattress. It's not for light sleepers sensitive to sound, people who prefer a soft, plush pillow feel, or anyone who moves around a lot at night and needs silence. The third type of pillow is one that almost nobody talks about: wool. Not polyester, pretending to be wool, and not a wool cover over foam, actual wool fill. For most of the 20th century, wool pillows were standard. Then synthetic materials came along, cheaper to produce, easier to market, more profitable to replace. Wool quietly disappeared from the mainstream, but it never stopped working. Here's what wool does that synthetic fill doesn't. Wool regulates temperature, absorbs moisture, up to 30% of its own weight, and releases it gradually. In summer, it keeps you cool, and in winter, it insulates. It does this naturally, without gels or cooling technology. Wool also has natural loft, which means that the crimped fibers create space and structure. Unlike polyester, which clumps and flattens, wool maintains its shape because the fibers are springy. And here's the part that matters most for durability. Wool doesn't break down the way foam does, since a quality wool pillow, refluffed occasionally, lasts 8 to 12 years. The term wool pillow is not regulated, So a pillow can be marketed as wool, with as little as 10% wool fill and 90% polyester. What you're looking for is 100% wool fill, preferably organic. GOTS certification. That's Global Organic Textile Standard, which verifies content. Also needs to be washable or adjustable design, as some wool pillows let you remove fill to customize loft, and a natural fabric cover, organic cotton, not synthetic. What you want to avoid is wool blend or wool-like fill, since that's polyester. Non-certified wool, which could be treated with chemicals, and fixed, non-adjustable fill if you're unsure about loft. The objection is that wool pillows are expensive and hard to find. Both true. A quality wool pillow costs more upfront than a foam pillow, and you won't find them at Target. But run the cost per sleep math. $100 over 10 years is 2.7 cents per night. And the performance, especially for temperature regulation, is unmatched by any synthetic material. Wool is not for people with wool allergies, stomach sleepers who need very low loft unless customized, or anyone looking for the cheapest option. It's true that wool is old technology, but old technology that works doesn't need to be replaced. This one is the underdog on the list, Kapok. If you've never heard of it, you're not alone. Kapok is a natural fiber harvested from the seed pods of the kapok tree. It's been used as pillow and cushion fill for centuries in tropical regions. It looks like cotton and feels like down, but it behaves completely differently. Here's what makes kapok different. Down feathers compress over time and migrate to the edges of the pillow, leaving you with a flat center and lumpy sides. Kapok fibers are hollow and coated in a natural wax. They resist compression, they don't clump, and they don't migrate. They also don't absorb moisture the way cotton or down does. The result is a pillow that feels soft and fluffy, similar to down, but maintains its loft and structure far longer. A well-made kapok pillow lasts 5 to 8 years, sometimes longer with occasional refluffing. Now here's the important part. The reason why kapok is not widely available is that it's not mass-produced. Most mainstream pillow brands don't use it because it's more expensive than polyester and harder to source at scale. But for people who want a natural, down-like feel without the ethical concerns of animal products or the durability issues of synthetic fill, kapok is the answer. What you're looking for is 100% kapok fill, not blended with polyester, organic, or sustainably sourced. Kapok is harvested from wild trees. So look for certifications. Some kapok pillows have zippered covers, so you can add or remove fill and natural cover fabric. Organic cotton is standard. What you want to avoid is kapok polyester blends, which defeats the purpose. Non-adjustable designs if you're unsure about loft and pillows marketed as silk cotton without clear kapok content disclosure. The objection is, I've never heard of this. How do I know it works? Fair. Kapok is not mainstream. You won't see it advertised during the Super Bowl, but it's been used for hundreds of years in regions where it grows naturally. It's not new technology, it's just ignored technology. Kapok is niche, but niche doesn't mean inferior, it means under-marketed. The last one on the list is the most misunderstood and probably the most underrated. For the last 20 years, the pillow industry has told us that comfort means soft, cloud-like pillows you sink into. And for a lot of people, that felt good for the first few nights. Then they started waking up with neck pain they didn't have before. Here's what's actually happening. A very soft pillow doesn't support cervical alignment. It allows your head to sink too far, creating an angle between your neck and spine that holds for 7 or 8 hours every night. Over time, that angle becomes a problem. A firm, supportive pillow keeps your head in a neutral position. Your neck doesn't bend, and your spine doesn't compensate. Now, firm doesn't mean hard. This is the distinction most people miss. Enough to hold your head in alignment. It doesn't mean sleeping on a brick. A quality firm pillow still has enough surface comfort to relieve pressure. It just doesn't let your head sink into a position your neck will pay for in the morning. What you're looking for is either a high-density foam block, at least 4 pounds per cubic foot density, 5 or higher is better, solid core not shredded, minimal or no quilted top layer, contoured or flat design, depending on sleep position, or firm latex, which we covered earlier, solid natural latex core, lower loft for stomach sleepers, medium to high loft for back sleepers. What you want to avoid is firm pillows with soft outer layers. That's a contradiction in design. Shredded foam, marketed as supportive, it compresses unevenly and gel-infused firm foam, which is a gimmick that adds no structural benefit. The objection is it feels too hard in the store. That's real. A firm pillow feels different in 10 seconds than it does after 8 hours of actual sleep. The showroom test is not the right test for this type of pillow. A simple, well-built firm pillow is the most durable, most supportive, and most honest option available. No cooling gels, no phase change materials, no marketing, just support. 5 options, 1 pattern. Solid latex, a material that outlasts the replacement cycle by a decade. Buckwheat, adjustable, breathable, and built to last 20 years. Wool, passive temperature regulation with no synthetic breakdown. Kapok, natural, soft, and structurally resilient. Simple firm support, honest design that works by not trying to do too much. Not one of these options is on the front page of a pillow review site that makes money when you click, and not one of them needs an influencer partnership to justify its place on this list. They are here because they work. And now I want to say something directly. The pillow industry is not trying to hurt you, but it is designed around a cycle. You buy, it flattens, you buy again every 6 to 12 months, on average. That cycle is not an accident. It is a business model, and you can step outside of it. Stop buying what feels good for 10 seconds in a store and start buying what supports your neck for 10 years. Your sleep is not a problem to be solved with the next pillow launch. It is a nightly investment in how your neck feels, in how your head rests, in how you wake up every single morning for the next decade. Invest accordingly. Subscribe for more simple, practical sleep insights.